Check, check. This is far back enough. Hi, my name is Tyler Russo, and I just remembered that this is a miniature painting channel. Sorry I've done nothing but compulsively build orc lists for the past 3 months. It's been like 6 years. I really went off the rails the past 3 months. I made this Mephiston. You can't see because this is a wide shot, but we'll cut eventually. Also, I own a wireless microphone now. I know the point you're supposed to like put it through your shirt so it's like not invasive, but I don't know. I kind of like just having the wire stretch out and up to this thing like it's a bomb. Speaking of bombs, I don't know if you can hear the beeping that's going off in my hallway right now. The fire alarm has been going for about 48 hours now, and it's a nightmare. I think this would have been picked up by my old mic for sure, but with the wireless one, maybe it's not. Now I want to switch back to the old mic so I can show you how annoying the alarm is. Whatever, it's fine. That's probably enough of an intro, right?
This is Mephiston. He's a space vampire kind of guy. I don't know anything about Blood Angels. He probably has Dragon Ball Z OSL blue hair. I don't know, that's what I gave him. Step 1, you want to paint a glowy space vampire guy? Well, you gotta prime that glowy space vampire guy. I use Vallejo surface primer through an airbrush, as always, just is what I always do. But if you don't like overcomplicating your life with a $400 piece of equipment that breaks all the time, you could also use an $8 rattle can. I started off airbrushing the cloak with Wordbearer's red and slowly started working in more Mephiston red. I felt obligated to use Mephiston red as a highlight because it felt rude not to. If you don't own an airbrush, you could probably get away with just like dry brushing these slowly on top of each other. The airbrush will have like a better blended effect, but the dry brush like works pretty well too and looks the same from far away. Towards the tips of the cloak, I use Sanguinius red. Just like any kind of bright red is fine. Sanguinius, again, good branding. But you could probably use another Corn branded red or an Orc branded red if you don't care about your model's feelings. Here he is after a first pass. I just got a new air compressor that does not rattle my neighbor's floors and will probably never warrant a phone call from hotel security staff. So as a final sign of respect to the old little baby machine gun that could, I thought I'd leave the audio in from my old compressor one last time. I'm a big fan of this bronze color from Vallejo. I don't know of anything quite like it that's like a GW equivalent. All the metal parts were base coated with it, and then I used a mix of it and shining silver on top to do highlights. I airbrushed some gray and worked my way up to white, doing some zenithal highlights to try and get an idea of where I wanted my lighting to come from, and then I filled in a little bit of that by hand too. When you get to like highlighting the knuckles and his nose, it's like pretty hard to control with an airbrush, so I feel like some amount of doing it by hand is necessary and looks nicer in the end. Here's all the greens I used. I wanted this plasma gun to look as obnoxious and bright as possible. Actually, I never ended up using Caliban green. I think I just went straight for jungle green over a base coat of white. Base coating white makes it much easier to get a super vibrant green easily. It makes the plasma stand out a lot more. After filling it all in with white by hand, I used the airbrush to add a little bit of like softness to it. I referenced this illustration a lot, kind of. Sort of. This is the illustration I meant to reference a lot. I guess, yeah, I did use it for this part. These are the 2 colors I used for the sword. I mixed them together and then did some glazes with darker blues that I probably have a shot of later, maybe later. And I used the same 2 for providing the initial OSL on his face, which again, I will glaze with a darker blue that I may or may not have a shot of. Oh, wait, I think it's this one back here. Yeah, it's that one back there. Yeah, I mixed those 3 in various combinations, and after airbrushing them, just started hand painting them because you can't edge highlight a nose with an airbrush. And the same exact thing for the plasma gun. I feel like one thing that helps a lot is to do a rim of white mixed with a tiny bit of your base color just along the bottom edge, and then a small amount highlighting the coils on top too, and having your dark spots be in the middle. I don't quite hate myself enough to paint all the gemstones by hand, so I just use shining silver as a base coat and spirit stone technical on top. All the highlights in the sword were done with glazes. Airbrushed basically up to pure white with highlights, then glazed with a mix of fluorescent blue and turquoise on top of that, finally applying edge highlights with white and turquoise mixed together. I literally don't remember how I painted this skin. These Savannah grass tufts by minigrounds.com are really nice. You can get them on eBay for pretty cheap. The base is a mix of Vallejo, mud, and weathering powder, and then I have some tiny leaves from Green Stuff World that look really nice. Likewise, I use some weathering powder and enamels on the stone as well, which is painted stone color. I don't know. For centerpiece character models like this, I like going really overboard in bases. Even if it doesn't match the rest of your army, I feel like it's fine if there's like a couple standout dudes that are just painted better, as long as like they're the most important ones in your army. This stuff is really fucking good. It's basically like an enamel paint, but it's an acrylic. I don't know how they do it. It feels like an enamel paint, but it doesn't make my brain hurt after. I applied that to the recesses of the stone in the base, and then after it dried, put some more Vallejo thick mud on top. The decals are all from Green Stuff World. They're a great company with pretty fair pricing on eBay. I think Noble Knight Games sells a lot of their products too, if you're based in the US and don't want to wait a year for shipping from Spain. This Mephiston is for John of the band Health. They don't need a plug for me, but if you like it, go listen to them. They're a band I like a lot. The $1 Billion Clown Farm Discord is very active. If you'd like to join, there's a link in my bio. It's free. And I have a Patreon, I guess, if you want to support that. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about Patreon. Yeah, just thanks for coming by. Subscribe if you'd like to see more. This was great. Thanks for coming.